Thank you so much for staying with us. This is Good Morning Kenya, the only way to kickstart your morning. KBC Channel 1 is the station you're tuned in to. Thank you so much for your loyalty and for creating time every morning to start with us and end with us in style. Of course, we hope we are not letting you down wherever you are. Keep watching KBC Channel 1. There is more that we just prepare for you wherever you're watching us from. My name is Safina Ching, and today being Tuesday, let's talk about matters women. Being that we are just into the second week of this particular year, let's talk about the New Year goals. I know that is some of you out there are currently having a meeting with you. Just sitting and having a meeting with yourself and laying out the plan for 2018, deciding what you want to achieve by the end of the year, some habits that you want to break. Probably you want to lose weight, the holiday weight that you gained over the holidays. Probably you want to maintain the way you look. Maybe you want to change in terms of fashion. Maybe you want to be cleaner. There are just a lot of issues that probably you are sitting down and deciding this particular year. So today we want to be a bit biased to talk about the New Year goals for women. Being a women platform, this is where we all sit down and have a girl talk, sort of, just to understand as we go into 2018, what are some of those issues that as a woman, wherever you are, you need to understand. And my panel this morning cuts across from looking beautiful to being clean to the inner beauty, everything that you need to know as a woman. So this is a show like no other. At Safin_Ching is my Twitter handle. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. So let me introduce my guests for the show this morning. And they're all looking lovely this 2018. I don't know if it's they say there's this fever of brightness. That's according to Valentine. That is affecting everybody in 2018. All of you have been infected by that fever. It's a good fever.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. So let me start by introducing, sitting just directly next to me across, he's Pilma Mudola. She's a beautician, and she's also an image consultant, a makeup artist. So in all matters looking good and adding a touch of beauty here and there, she's the person to go to. Valentine Nyakiere, a personal hygiene specialist, founder of Beautiful and Clean. She has been here just helping us to understand how to stay clean and to break all those old habits. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Sally Wisdom. You know her for her powerful voice, but today she's coming with a different cup. She's a fashion designer, and she is the CEO of Sally Wisdom Fashion House.
Yes, Fashion House.
Thank you so much for joining us. So
Thank
today
you.
it's all about looking beautiful inside and outside, and the goals that we need to make as women going forward, financial, whichever will come on this particular conversation. And probably let me start by asking all of you, so far we are into the second week. I don't know if you'd say so far so good. What is it about 2018 that excites you? Let me start with you, Sally.
Well, thank you so much, Safin, for having me today.
Yeah.
And I want to say Happy New Year to the viewers.
Yeah.
I appreciate God for life, really. And something to celebrate about this new year and this first week of 2018 is life. God, for God to give you life. Many died last year, but for God to give you life, it means He will give you everything else you desire from Him. And so the new year has begun so well, and I think it's up for grabs for good things in this year.
Are you excited?
Very excited, very excited.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking better than I looked last year. Things
Wow.
I've added in my
But you
life.
say.
Oh yes. So I'm excited about it. There are a lot of things God is going to do in our lives, starting from us making our goals right. Yeah. Asking some questions that we never asked ourselves last year. Because when you ask some questions, it will make you to know how to behave or what to do next for your next goal.
All right.
Yes.
Wow. Valentine, how is your 2018 so far? Are you excited about it? Are you looking forward to more things to come like Sally?
Yeah, I love 2018. There's something about it. There's something exciting about it. I've started 2018 on a high note. I'll say I'm happy to have come this far, and as well, I thank God for this far. I think I am looking forward to a beautiful, clean 2018.
Wow.
More people coming on board to being better at, keeping themselves clean. So I'm looking forward to seeing what 2018 has in store for me.
Yeah. Like I always say, you think you're clean until you have a conversation with Valentine. You think you're clean until you talk to her. You will realize there are a few things you need to change. But anyway, thank you for coming.
Thank you
I'm sure
for having me.
You will really help us in those resolutions that we need to make in terms of personal hygiene.
Yeah.
Let me talk to Pilma. 2017 was such a blessing.
Yes.
For you. Talk to us about 2018. Are you excited about it?
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm in 2018. As you can see, more glowness.
Yeah.
We are all glowy. So I've already felt 2018, it's a period of restoration. Yeah. Everybody, from the comments, from everybody, everybody's just happy. People are feeling they're being restored. So it's up to us. We just align ourselves. Align ourselves in everything, in every sector of our lives. We just align everything. And before everything, of course, it's who? It's God.
It's God. Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much
Yes.
for also joining us this
Thank
particular
you.
morning.
Thank
One thing
you.
I like about this panel is that it's going to touch on everything that is important to a woman. A woman minds about how she looks and how she feels. That is what defines her beauty. So I like this because today, starting today, in case there is somebody out there who has not had that meeting yet with themselves, they are going to get a few tips on what to include in their list of plans and New Year goals. So let me start with Sally. I don't know if you've had that meeting yet with yourself. Have you laid out a plan for this exciting 2018 that you're talking about? You say you were hopeful. Have you had a meeting yet, or you're still there?
Yeah, I have a meeting. I've already had a meeting with myself, Safia. Because every day you wake up, you look into new things, and you look into better things in every area of your life, be it family, marital, be it financial, be it business-wise, financially, right? So I have called a meeting with myself this year that there are things I did last year, or there's a place I was last year that I don't want it to repeat right now. And so it means I've sat down and asked questions about myself, both inside and outside, And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 things that I know I want to do this year. For example, in my business, I said I am a CEO at Sally Wisdom Fashion House. And I'm looking at it like a woman is about additions. Addition is every area of your life. Now, I will deal with beauty. Now, you see, I'm a plus size. That's what I call myself. And in this world, there are many forces and there are many voices that talks to women about you are not good, or you're bad, or you are good, So
consider that aspect of cutting weight. That forms like every year there is
resolution for every woman.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the fact that it has to get to a point where you accept
yourself.
Who you are.
Yes.
And you know exactly what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
Yes.
And being a fashion designer, probably you can also, as we continue the conversation, talk to us about how to dress your body. Because many people would feel big because they're dressing in the wrong kind of outfits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, that's very important. And I think that is the area God has helped me to really align myself well. I looked at it like, first of all, the inner beauty, first of all, you have to be beautiful inside.
Yeah.
Meaning you have to accept that God created you in his own image.
Exactly.
Now, I cannot desire to be like you because that is what created you to be. You have something to fulfill in destiny.
Yeah.
And that's why everything that God gave you is to fulfill your destiny. Now, for me, like now, we are 4 of us. If I look at her, she looks just sweet in her own way.
Yeah.
This one looks just elegant in her own way.
Exactly.
Now, Sally, when you talk about Sally, or you look at Sally, you look at it like, you look at her, she's different from everybody else. So first of all, we have to love ourselves.
Yeah.
Love yourself in whatever size you are first, so that when you love yourself from inside, then outside will respond.
Okay.
So I think this year we are talking about which voice are you listening to first for you to make it in life.
Okay.
You see. So a plus size body, like for me, you look at, you know how you're designed. Maybe you're curvy, or you're hippies this way, and maybe
You're
you have
blessed.
you're blessed, right? You have a big hugger, or you have a
Oh my
potty,
God.
or
I
here
can't believe
you're
you did that.
You know there are many figures, right? They call figure 9, figure 8, figure 6, all those figures.
Yeah.
But whatever figure you are, no, first of all, God created you in his own image. Love yourself first.
Yeah.
And then from there, look for something that goes with you.
Exactly.
Now, Like if you look at me, do you love me or do I look bad or what?
I do. I always love the way you look every time you
Yes.
come on the show. And you tell me you design the outfits you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
today I dressed like this because I've never come in like this free size stuff.
Yeah.
But I came in to show some woman out here that you can look good in this kind of outfit.
Exactly.
If you are not someone who want to show your haga or your hips out, look for something like this. It will take your body and you just look sweet.
Wow. I love the confidence.
Yeah.
Know who you are,
Yes.
dress
Yes.
it and rock it,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So you were telling me about the 4 things you've planned to do. Think about those. We'll come back to them. Valentine, tell me, have you had a meeting already with yourself?
Yeah, I had a
What are the
meeting
key
with
issues?
myself
Yeah.
on 31st.
Ah, wow.
Yes.
Okay, early bird.
I decided that all my years I've had a lot of company, you know, like going into the next year from 31st, probably with family, or there are always other people. And sometimes I'll have a point where I've lost touch with myself in between. So I decided this year I want to just be myself. And I took that time to look at myself, you know, the fact that I've come. Because I think sometimes it's not about just making resolutions for the new year. You have to look back. You have to see, all right, I have failed in such and such an area, and I have made it in such and such an area. I have come this far, and then I can identify, all right, okay, how far should I go with myself? Because at the end of the day, you are the best version of yourself that has ever lived, and that will live.
Yeah.
And you have to invest in yourself. And what I was looking at is this year to be able to invest in myself more. And when I say invest in myself is, you know, like the real self. You know, we spoke about, and I told you that I have a topic on self-love in my curriculum.
Oh, yeah, true.
And that is because I know that as far as health is concerned, which is, you know, part of what hygiene is, because personal hygiene are the practices of an individual to maintain their health and well-being. So as far as health and well-being is concerned, you either invest now or later, but anyway, you have to pay. At some point, you have to pay.
Later is
Either-
expensive.
Later is expensive, and then you spend a lot of time. That is where you find that you are retiring, and instead of going home or enjoying your holiday, where you are going is to the hospital, and you're burdening your children, you're burdening your family, and it is, whenever it's a lifestyle issue, then that is something you can avoid, because that is different from, you know, something else. So if you can avoid all the lifestyle problems, then you leave yourself at a better advantage. Yeah, so that is what I'm looking at, and that is the kind of meeting that I had with myself. I also wanted a meeting whereby I can be able to impact more lives, because most of what I teach is very impactful, and some people may not access the information. So I want to go more out there, and I'm a Rotarian, so I prefer to do more charity in it. So there's going to probably be more work of charity this year from me than there has been in the previous year. So I think it's going to be a very busy year for myself, and giving myself to others as far as hygiene is concerned.
So we watch that space.
Yes, watch this space.
Filma, we're still looking at, you know, whether you guys have had a meeting with yourselves, and
Of
what is it
course.
about that meeting that stood out about
Yes.
2018?
What stood out about 2018? About my meeting with myself. I felt that I need to involve myself more with God.
Wow.
Because you know what? I looked back to where I've come from. Huh? And then like last year, I had so many things happening, like good things.
Yeah.
And then I was not so much involved in God, so that's so much. So I asked myself, if God can bless me this much, huh? What if I spend more time
Invested
with,
more time with him.
invest more time in Him, spend more time with Him? Yes? So that's what if, you see? How much more will He bless me?
Yeah.
How much more will He cover me, you get? So I decided, let me involve myself with God first of all. And then something has just came to me when she said about women and their whatever 2018 resolutions, like, I want to slim. First of all, I said, I told myself, 2018, I don't owe anyone matched eyebrows, perfect eyebrows.
Yeah.
I don't owe anyone that. I don't owe anyone a figure 8. I don't owe anyone like being brown, light skin, whatever, doing whatever, those things. No. I don't owe anyone like a very rich husband. Let me run my own race.
Yeah.
You get?
Wow.
Let me run my own race and God first and everything. Yes.
Wow. So for all of you, it got to that point of self-realization.
Yeah.
And understanding that this is what I need for myself and this is what I'm going to do. And for everybody out there, probably that is what people need. Before you even sit down to decide that this is what I want to do, is that really your race? Is that what you really, really want for yourself? Before you decide that I want to lose weight, before you decide that I want to, you know, there are ladies out there who are feeling like I'm getting old, I need to get married, all my friends are married. Is that what you really want for yourself? You know, those are some fundamental questions that you need to ask before you start that meeting. So now that we have talked about self-realization, let's talk about those things that you feel are key to every woman out there. And this I will touch on the different aspects where you guys are experts in. I'll start with hygiene. Before makeup, before dressing, we all have to be clean at heart and physically. Let me talk to the expert, Valentine. This year, 2018, what do you want ladies to understand when it comes to personal hygiene? Probably you can even talk about the old habits that they need to break, things that in your line of work you've interacted with and you feel like, you know, these are the things that I feel I really wish women knew and they would just stop doing.
Yeah. Like I've said, I'm looking more at investing in ourselves. And I wish that every woman this year is going to invest much more time to hygiene. And hygiene is not about cover-up. Yeah? Hygiene is not about saying, you know, this place is dirty and I need to put a cap on it to prevent anybody from seeing that ring. Yeah, no, hygiene is much more, you have to invest much more time to it.
Let me give you a better example. I'm sweaty, I need some spray.
Yeah, exactly.
To lie to people and feel fresh. If you're sweaty, there is a problem.
Yeah, you remember when we spoke about bathing and I said that you need to invest much more time because you need to pay attention to your skin, you need to pay attention to your body parts. You need to clean your nostrils, your ears, we spoke so much about, you know, those places that have odor, all those areas, because most of the times we are always in a hurry. We are always in a hurry because we are hurrying to some job here and there, doing this and that, and we forget ourselves. At the end of the day, you forget yourself at the expense of everything else, which will not forget itself for you. So you'll be at a loss. So you need to invest much more time to yourself and your family, because at the end of the day, the woman, my mother told me, I remember, that the woman dictates the temperatures in the house, every kind of temperatures. If you have children or you have even your visiting relatives or whoever it is, your husband, you dictate the kind of temperatures that there will be. All right. So if you decide that you are not going to invest time in hygiene, they also will not invest time in hygiene. Because they are following in your footsteps. For those who are married, they know that if a woman goes into the house and decides to keep quiet, there's not going to be any conversation in that house. That happens. So you dictate so much of what happens in that house, and you have to take charge. All right? You have to decide to invest much more time. The same way you go and buy a weave or a wig of 3,000 shillings, you have to invest
20 or 50.
Oh, yeah, 20, 50,
She will tell you she's a beautician.
I know, yeah. The same way, you have to be willing the same way to invest such kind of energies to your bathroom, if you need to clean it more, and if you need to clean your toilets better, if you need to, you know, replace your pillows, quit the laziness. You need to invest much more time to yourself, all right? Don't tell me about your skin and putting on makeup. I am not against makeup, by the way. But I am not against makeup. What I know is that there are people who put on...
Okay, go ahead.
There are people who put on makeup for the sole reason of covering up something,
Yeah.
covering up of
True.
something that, you know, is on their skin that they have caused on themselves. And that cover-up is what I'm against. Because without your makeup, you need to have first been clean so that you're beautiful enough, so that the makeup is only going to highlight, you know, when you put it on. Yeah. So you have to pay attention to these things. And if you are going to put on makeup, you have to realize you have to invest the time of removing the makeup
The more
as
time
well.
you took putting
Yes.
stuff on, the more time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly. You have to invest much more time on your pillows. For example, I mean, our pillows are making us sick because we sleep on those pillows every other day. We don't, we put all the dirt that we've gathered
hair
from the
oil
day and hair oil on the pillow, and then we continue sleeping on it. But of course, it looks clean. So in your eyes, it's like the sniff test we talked about the last time. So I am saying we need to invest more time to our hygiene, because whether you like it or not, you have to pay. You either pay right now or you pay later. You choose which kind of pay you. Then we have to remember that the kind of exposure that we have in the modern age is not the exposure that was there before. All right? Because, I mean, where would an old age woman have come across a toilet that is going to give them infection, for example? All right? That is something that was not there. That is something that has come in now, because their workplace was totally different from the kind of workplace that we have now. All right? Then information was shared wholesomely. It no longer does. You find you work in the same office with someone that you don't know totally. All right? So there's that. So there's different exposure, and you have to make sure that you understand that and invest your time to observing yourself. And pay attention to yourself. I mean, if you have an order, you have an order. Full stop. Stop covering it up. If you have an order, you have an order, and you have to appreciate it.
Perfumes are no excuse.
They're not an excuse. And you will not smell good when you put on a perfume on a bad order.
Right.
You will not smell good.
It will be worse.
Yes, so you have to invest time. That's the first thing that I would say to a woman.
We'll talk about hygiene more. I know there's so many people out there who have already made plans for 2018, but hygiene is not part of it.
Yeah,
They feel
mostly
clean
it's not.
already, and they're like, I'm hygiene, really?
Yeah.
I'm clean already.
Yeah.
Who tells me how to bathe? Who should teach me how to brush my teeth?
Yeah.
But then these are things that are very important. We think we do them, but are we doing them in the right way, for the right reasons?
Yeah.
Let's talk about fashion. Just an intro, a sneak peek into what you want ladies to understand, Sally, out there in terms of how they dress, how they look. We've already talked about plus size guys out there. Accept yourself and know how to dress yourself. But generally speaking, what is it about how we dress up, how we look, that you'd like to share with us?
Thank you, Stephen. First of all, I would say, I think, let's be healthy from the heart. Yeah. Let fashion begins from your heart. Your heart, how you look determines how your heart is. You start from inside to outside. Now, there's some, if your heart is carrying a lot, it's too stressed, it will affect how you dress. You won't care. Like if you're too much stressed, especially ladies, it's very easy to know if someone is stressed. You just put on anything, and you don't care how you look outside here. So we start from fashion.
I know that is what you want to say.
That is it. I was a bit careful to do the Swahili stuff, but
it's all right.
yeah, you know. So let the ladies know that your heart must be healthy this year.
It's true.
Chunga, sieve what comes in. You know, decide what comes in. Decide what you take. So from there, beautiful, you will look nice from outside. Outside, start from inside. Because ladies are affected so much with what comes, what someone talks about them. You see, Nanali sema hivi, oh, they said I cannot do this. They said I'm bad. They said I'm ugly. So from that, what is inside? I talk about you can look good and say, Miss Pendaki yo. You see, because this one looks nice. Na si smart kwake because of what is inside. She's hurt. You see, she's disappointed. She's hurting. So this year, ladies, let's be healthy from inside. What you went through from last year, just decide to release, let it go. Because God has better things for you, but you are the one to determine. So let's dress nicely. Fashion is for everybody, for the big, for the small. Everything, something is good out here for you. So decide to be healthy inside, and then you can dress well outside. Now, if you're plus size, as I said, look for what is good for you. mostly you saw when I come here, sometimes I do tights. I do tight and I do a peplum out. And it just removes you out nicely, you see.
I like the confidence she has when she says that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the God aspect of it, when God is in your heart,
Yeah.
he will help you to remove every dirt from your heart, so that you can showcase yourself. The Bible says God has created us to show forth his glory. How do you show? Show means I must see with the eyes, not I talk. I must see you, how you look. So when you tell me about God, I check you. Because God is about good, you see.
It's true.
So God must be inside our heart to deal with the pain, the heart, the stress, so that you don't just get it anything. You wake up, you put on anything. You understand?
Don't strive to dress or put on makeup on a stressed body, and already you're like walking dead.
You're right.
Your emotions,
Yeah.
you're
Yes.
broken, you're wounded.
Yes.
And you're trying to look good and vibrant. It doesn't work.
Yes.
What Sally is saying this morning, start from inside.
Inside,
If
yes.
there are any issues as a lady inside your heart, deal with them first. Don't care about how you look first. Once you deal with that,
Everything
it doesn't
explodes.
matter what you are wearing.
Safiri, have you heard of this thing says that the friends of mine who tell me, Sally hata kivaa gunia ako smart. Do you know why they say like that? Gunia. It means if your heart is healthy,
Yeah.
whatever you put on, everybody's like, hey, you look nice, you look good. It doesn't mean that fashion, utafute nguo ya 10,000, 20,000, you look expensive. If I tell you how much this dress is, you won't believe it.
I will
But
be
if you look at
surprised.
me, you are
You
like,
look
you
good.
look mwah. You see?
Hey, Sally.
So, you understand what I mean?
I understand
Yes.
you now,
So
my
even,
sister.
yes, now. So even a 100 shilling top will look very good on you if your heart is healthy. This year, ladies, leave stress, relationships that are not working, ziache. You understand? Go
And
for
we'll
what
talk
you
about
want.
that.
Thank you.
You know that
So
I'm
can I
growing
finish?
old.
I've-
Yeah,
oh,
you
yes.
can. You
No,
can.
I've finished now. I think you'll come later.
Sawa. Hilma, in terms of beauty, I think this touches, they more or less relate with dressing. But then what is your addition on this particular issue? The outside beauty that we all struggle and try as much as possible to look good. And most of the time it's for people, not for
Yes.
us. It's for the world, not for yourself.
Yes. Okay. About beauty, you know, beauty it's something, how will I elaborate? Okay, I believe they've talked so much about beauty and health and everything. Even today, I won't talk so much about beauty. Because also what matters is, we're generalizing, you get? Women. So like, as you said, let me not just talk so much about beauty.
All right,
Because they've enlightened everyone enough, you get? So I can say, women, most women don't know how to deal with their past. You know, I've experienced that. I know what that means. So I made a resolution. I should let go my past. I move on. I find myself. And it works. Yeah. And through that, when women just like continue thinking about their past, they tend to complain more. They feel bitter. And that is not right.
Yeah, true.
That is not right at all. I can relate that to the Bible. Remember the story of the Israelites, when they were in the wilderness. They were not supposed to be in that wilderness for that so long. How many years were they?
40.
40 years. And imagine they're supposed to be there for only 11 days. Why were they in that wilderness for all those years? Mostly because of complaints and murmuring. Through that, we should relate that to their personal lives, you get. So let's not complain. Let's complain less. You get?
Yeah,
Complain less. Let go of your past and bitterness, because it happens. It has happened. You move on. Yes. You be brave to face challenges. You be brave enough to face challenges. And that has worked for me. I'm a testimony. Even if I tell you my story right now, you won't believe. But you just be brave enough to face the challenges. You don't like go back, look, unaangalia nyuma, unaona, oh, I went through that now. People judged me. They said I'm a what? You get those things keep fighting you each and every day. You know, that is not right.
Yeah. I like how you've brought out the 40 years issues.
Yeah.
There are people who are now in their
Yes.
maybe 20th year. They are waiting, they are going around, they are complaining.
Yeah.
There is that one thing a woman out there wants to achieve. Probably it's career-wise, financially, whichever direction of life. But then because of these issues you're holding on to, they are slowing down your
Yes.
process to achieving whatever it is that
Yes.
you want to achieve. So I like that analogy. As well, you can apply it.
Yes.
Stop complaining and start working, start moving, start walking.
Yeah,
Let's talk about, relationships a bit before we delve on to other issues. Valentine, you said you're single. Sally, underline, single. What to
Oh, Sarfini just didn't advertise me.
yeah, and I want you to inspire confidence in somebody out there. There is this typical African analogy that a lady has her time. There is somebody out there who is watching and saying, there's a lot of pressure from family. People went to Shago. There was a family meeting that was just put for them that, next year we want you to come with someone. And there are people who are really struggling that this 2018, I must. That pressure, is it really
Yeah.
worth it? And there are so many ladies out there who are currently living under that kind of pressure. And even...
I believe that pressure is something that is a blessing in disguise. It is good and bad, mostly bad, because sometimes we are not trained well to deal with such kind of pressures, and they will affect many other areas of our lives. And this is how I put it. Sometimes if you put pressure, you see, like in our African setting, we haven't put so much energy towards talents, for example. You see, she is doing a lot of beauty and fashion. Those are not the kind of things that probably in the last 20 years someone would have been going to school to study. So that has not been there. So you find there has been a cluster of the kind of things you're supposed to do. You go to school, you get a certain grade, you get into college, you get a certain job, you start your work process. If you're in Nairobi, you wake up early in the morning, you beat traffic, you go to work, you go back. If you're lucky to have a coffee date, you go. It doesn't turn out well, you go home and go into your sorrows. But you have the pressure to be a CEO in that company, which you will never be, because you have put limitations to yourself because of the way probably the life is turning out. So we haven't had a culture where talents are encouraged, things that are outside the norm. And so there's pressure, and sometimes I normally say, like I'm saying, you have to, like you said, you have to rediscover yourself. Who exactly are you? If you're calling yourself for that meeting, look at your past. Who are you? What are you looking forward to? If it is the case of children, I normally say, do you really need these children? Do you really want to get these children, for example? I say, I am a mother, and I say, if there's one thing that I was never told is that, motherhood changes you. Sometimes I wonder if I look back, is it something that I would have wanted to get into? You see, but that information was not there. So I look at all the mothers around, and people say, once a mother, there's something that changes you and you become a mother and you just have to fall into it. But is that true?
Yeah.
You need to know yourself. Is that true? If every of your friend is getting married at age 26, for example, is that your age? There's a video I watched, and
it's like 2018. You are the one who has remained. Every other person has
gotten married.
You've been a bridesmaid all along, and you've been maua umerushiwa mpaka umechoka. And then now 2018, you're saying this is my year, and there's that pressure from within and from the society as well. How do you deal with that pressure?
Yes, and I've seen that even when I speak to women, for example, when we're having discussions about personal hygiene, and sometimes I'll wonder, why is such a woman not taking better care of herself? And when I go deeper into her issues, I'll see that the reason why she's the way she is because there's much more to it. You see, she has other pressures that have, pushed down her self-esteem, and because she has been made to feel like she has failed in a certain area of her life, you see? And she has not failed, but that is going to push on to everything else. Yeah, she's not going to be able to invest better in herself. You see, I'm talking so much about investing in yourself, because you're the best version that you'll ever live. So that is a decision that you alone need to make. And yesterday I told someone, we were speaking about personal hygiene on children, and I was talking about mothers teaching their children personal hygiene, and then when they are younger, taking better care of them. And I was telling them, when you overlook the small things, one day someone said on when I was giving a talk, but we've been getting by. You know, as far as personal hygiene is concerned, we've been getting by. And I keep insisting, the kind of issues that we come across that are related to personal hygiene, they're so intimate, so secretive that you won't go telling anyone. If anybody in this studio has a smell or an itch, you won't come to announce it. I'm itching in my private parts. You know, this is not something that you go to announce. My armpit smell, these are things that you want to keep your hands together so that nobody gets to know. So these are intimate issues. So this child of yours who is growing, if you do not do what is right for them, they are going to suffer alone. And even when you're a mother, you cannot feel the pain for them.
Okay. Before we go into that,
Yeah.
I still don't want us to run away from this issue about relationships. Sally, I want you to talk to a woman out there who could be forcing herself to stay in a toxic relationship with a brother just because they want a husband, and it's not working. We are not telling people to break up with people, but then again, what do you tell that woman? Why must women be defined with the presence of a man in their life?
I think something we have a challenge here is, the challenge is comparison. Comparing yourself with someone else. That is what makes you to strive and struggle to be what you are not. So when you accept yourself, you understand, to know that my time is not your time. God created everything in his time. And he does things in his time. He does not do like devil, abracadabra. You see, you give me one, I give you two. God works systematically. But when you want to compare yourself with other ladies, that is what happens. You have the pressure. You understand? Okay, we call it in this common language peer pressure. But I would call it like that on the ladies' side, it still works. Because I want to be like her. Things are working for her. She got a man when she's 20. Look, she's flourishing. She has a car. She has a nice house. She's in love. She feels good. Lord, I want to be like her. But you are not her. That's why you are suffering and Sally.
True.
So accept that you are not her. But accept also that God is not biased. When he blesses your neighbor, he knows he will bless you too. So believe and just relax and be happy. Don't rush, because when you rush, because Simon is not John, when you enter there and then there's a problem. Like yesterday, we saw on your TV yesterday, that a man slaughtered a woman.
Marital issues.
Marital issues. They moved in and then the man, you understand? So why should you die because of a man? Be patient, because God knows you need a man. The Bible says there is no man, there is no woman who has no man. Everybody has a mate. So take your time, believe God. That's why I still keep on talking about God. You know my area.
I know.
Because when
being a gospel artist,
because God is everything. God is your father. He knows you need that man, and he knows the time. There are people that get men at 40. There are people that get at 50. Me, I've seen women get married at 50. I've seen testimonies of people getting children at 54. You understand?
Slow down, woman.
You understand?
Slow down.
So what's the pressure for?
You see Sally saying even 40 can work.
Yes, it does. I've seen 50.
Reduce the pressure.
We were in a meeting last year and there's a woman who came in
pressure.
at 50, got married, a big wedding, 50, and she was looking so sweet. So what's your problem? Believe God. God is your father. He knows you need this man. So don't hurry. Don't look at Valentine. Don't look at Ma. I shortcut that her name because the other name is a bit, you understand. So take your time, because when you do it yourself, then you will maintain yourself. But when you do it with God, God will help you out. He will give you the best. So relax. Times and seasons, the Bible says, are in the hands of God. It is your time today, tomorrow is mine. But the surety is, it will surely come.
I wish, all women could understand that. There is never a rush. You will just end up getting somebody who is wrong for you and getting frustrated.
Or even the other way.
Yeah.
Why should you punish a man? You know, when you're with someone whom you're very sure that you're not compatible with, the man is also getting punished because they're not getting what they are worth of getting. True. And it's good to look at it from both sides, that sometimes when we are pushing ourselves to, when a woman is pushing herself to a man, for example, even the man gets a punishment because they are getting what is not, you know, worth what they wanted. Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah.
And but there's something, if God cannot help our generation right now, you have seen our relationships the way that they're doing, right? You see, a young guy, a young lady does not want to go for her age mate because Hanado.
Yeah,
Are you stable?
we've
That is
become
why I'm bringing the God
materialistic.
aspect of it, because right now it's very serious. I want a man who give me an iPhone. If you can
tell
give
you
me, it doesn't
something.
work.
When you're young, you have this list of Mr. Right. That is also another problem. You have a list of Mr. Right. You want him to be tall, dark, handsome, financially stable, and it's almost 30 things that you want. The older you get, this list starts
Dropping.
True. By the time there's a certain time there, you just say any man. Valentine, you're laughing. You just say, I just
Any
want
trouser.
any man.
Anybody in the trouser.
And you know, maybe by holding on to that list of 30 things that you want, you left so many good people, so many good opportunities. Yeah, there are people who
That's
just
a
come
lot
up
of
with a
work.
very big list and say, this is what I want, this is what I want. And you're giving up on so many good relationships, so many opportunities, so many good people. By the time you want now to settle down, it's just any man. I don't care.
Do women think about what they're offering?
I'm so
Women
stuck
are
on that.
wired to
Like, it
receive.
is, you think about me as Valentine. What am I offering? You know, it's good to look at it from that angle. It's not just about me receiving.
Let's, Vilma,
Yeah, what am I offering?
what do you
to a
think
man?
about this issue?
What
What's
I
the
think about
secret?
is, for starters,
You know,
okay, you want a good man, whatever, and everything. You have to ask yourself, what if I marry myself? Yeah, you have to look at that. You know,
You'll be comfortable with
ujiangalivo.
yourself.
What if I marry myself? Will I be okay with myself and everything, for starters, before everything else? Okay. And another thing, you know, we come from different backgrounds, you get, and so many people don't know about this. There are some things called, you know, people, so many ladies are anafika 26 anasema, hey, ma, yo, time.
I have
30,
to, yeah.
ma, hey, I've seen Safin is married, whoever is married. What about me now? Hey.
Yeah.
Then you say, hey, God, I've been tithing. I've been going to church. What is happening?
Yeah.
You have to look back. There's some things called like generational curses. You have to look at yourself. You break those things. You break those things. To an extent, you pray. Make prayer the way you eat. Make
it your
even prayer like
daily-
a habit.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
get.
okay.
Make prayer a habit. Apart from tithing, kuweka sadaka, kupeleka hapo sadaka, fika 50 bob, ka 100, ka so, ka nini. Do a sacrificial giving. You see? You know, the way, let's say, not the spiritual people do, au wachawi nini. See, they do sacrificial giving. They have their own, they have their own altars. The same applies to, you need to do a sacrificial giving. Because
So if
the
you really
altar
want
will
something,
speak for you.
If you really want something,
Yes.
you show that
Yes.
you really want something.
Do
from
that.
God. Okay.
It will speak for
One
you.
thing I like about what you're sharing is that it has to go back to self-realization.
Yes.
Because even from what
Self-realization.
she's saying, would you be in a relationship with yourself and be comfortable?
Yes,
All
for
those things you
starters.
want in a man, do you have even half of that list?
Yes.
You know, at the end of the day, start working on yourself first. Before you even go out there shopping for what you want or what
Yes.
this is what I want to achieve, work on yourself. Even if it's a relationship, maybe you're the one who has issues. You have a good man, but then it's issues that you
never
have
know.
that make the relationship not to work.
Yes.
So I really, I think we're all challenged this morning, even my viewers. Start working on yourself. Stop complaining.
And also be busy doing something, Safin.
Yeah.
You know, when you're lazy, you're not doing anything. That is the only thing is I want a man who will take care of me. Because you're not doing anything. You're just lazy. You're waiting for someone to give you good goodies. give you a better life.
Let's talk
Be
about
busy
that.
doing something.
Financial empowerment.
Get
You know,
out
ladies,
of your
the
comfort
reason
zone.
why you want a financially stable man
At
is
Mzima.
because you want at least somebody who will pay your bills.
You see.
You live off somebody else. Is a woman, you know, is it time for women to wake up and start thinking that they can be on their own financially? Let's talk about that as well.
As much as that is concerned, you are a helper to the man. That means you also need to do something. You get, not just the man doing everything. It is not even, it is written, it is a rule. You are a helper. You should pay the rents and everything, but you're also a helper. You should also chip in. You get, you don't just sit there. You're supposed to get out of your comfort zone. Find something to do for yourself. Because even God has given you some things like talents, gifts. You need to use that. You don't just need to wait for someone to do everything for you. Yes, you need to help each other.
Okay.
Yes.
Ladies, I have very few minutes left, so I'm going to give you one round for your parting shots.
Yeah.
We've shared, and it's a topic that can go on and on.
Yes.
In the days to come.
Yeah.
But then as we are about to bring this conversation to a close, it's the second week of 2018, and we are all here talking about what ladies need to know, what they need to stop doing, and how to rediscover themselves and start building themselves first before going out to the world. What is it about this conversation that you'd like to leave as parting shots for my viewer? Let me start with Sally.
Okay, I would like to encourage a lady out here that this year, forget what you went through last year that was negative. Be positive this year, because God does new things every time. Where you failed last year, have a meeting with yourself, see what didn't work and what you can do to work, and check your heart. Always put your heart in check, what comes in and what comes out. Your ears, learn to get what comes in and stop what you want to come in, receive, and what you don't want, keep it aside. On relationships, what is not working, don't fight for it. Relax, let God help you out. And then for ladies, look smart, because God is good. He loves good things. Dress nicely, have a smile, and put love in your heart. Be peaceful. And if you don't know how to dress, look for Sally Wisdom. Like my page, Sally Fashion House. I will dress you, you know. And so God loves you a lot. So
I'll
this
dress
year you
you
must
well,
succeed.
well. Okay.
And you must be on top.
Yeah.
Much love.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Pilma?
Okay, what I can tell the women out there, don't be afraid to start over. Start with what you have. However little it is, start with what you have and be confident. Believe in yourself. Put God first in everything that you do. Everything, every sector of your, everywhere, everything. If you buy something, put God first in it. If you're opening a business, put God first. If you're meeting anyone, put God first. Pray for God to give you that discerning spirit. Yeah? And also, don't fear anything. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, it says, even you ladies, viewers, you can write that. It says, for we were not given the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. Put that in mind, walk with it, wherever you go, walk with it, and you'll see how much you'll achieve. Yeah.
Do not fear. If your
Do
goal
not
is that
fear.
corner
Start
office,
with what you have.
if your goal is that corner office, you want to be the
Yes,
CEO.
don't fear.
Don't fear.
Yes.
If you want to start a business, if you
Don't
want to start
fear.
a new journey in a relationship, don't fear.
Start with
Anything
what you
is
have.
possible. Yeah.
However
Okay.
small it is.
All right. Thank you
Yes.
for that. Valentine, what's your parting shot?
I'm more of saying that women need to learn to appreciate information more because we normally don't do that. We give preference to gossip and juicy stories. They're the ones that tickle our fancies. So I'd say that we need to appreciate, you know, information more. Even in those kind of areas that you're saying, get busy, you know, fashion and all of that, you need to study it more. You need to learn yourself because as a woman, you need to identify, all right, I think I know my strengths. What are my weaknesses? And then how do I work around them? Yeah. Because even when I'm speaking the gospel of hygiene, I find that it becomes very difficult when someone is not ready to appreciate information, because you have that mentality of, I think I have it figured out and I have lived this far. And we are a learning curve. Even if you look at the older generation, if you look up to, you need to change the kind of people that you look up to so that they can inspire you. Because if you look up to great women in the world, you find that they were always yearning for information in whichever area it is. So when you look up to information, you're going to find that even the kind of investments you make for your life change, because now they are not geared towards gossip or things that you don't necessarily need in your life. You focus more on the needs that you have in your life, getting yourself better, working on your weaknesses. So I have found that women, whenever we advance in, you know, the amount of money that we have in the bank, or, you know, power, career, we tend to go low on information. So you find that we think we know, and we rely on probably what is being advertised. If it's like products we are looking at, we rely on what is most expensive. We are not so much into information. So let us invest more of our time into information. If you've never read a book, I mean, get a book and read.
Yeah,
the best thing you can invest in is a book. Get a book and read. Identify the kind of issues that you deal with as yourself. That is going to help you, you know, move a step further, and it's going to make even life easier for you. And even as far as hygiene is concerned, remember me telling you that hygiene requires a lot of work, a lot of change, because there's so much that needs to be done. Sometimes you feel like, you know, you're pushing yourself too much, and you may not be able to do this if you do not have the right information and you do not identify your own weaknesses. So let us learn to, you know, appreciate information more and equip ourselves more. That way we are even able to, you know, I remember my first computer class was garbage in, garbage out. So whatever you get in is what you get out.
Wow,
so if most
you.
of what you have is gossip and juicy stories, that's all you talk about. You'll never be talking about, you know, major issues in life. Yeah. So equip yourself with the kind of things that you want to be getting out. Yeah.
And an idle mind will always have time for gossip and rumor mongering and saying who got married, who was dumped, you know, and all those issues.
And even become a good conversationist. You can sit down with someone and have a proper conversation and be able to, you know, look ahead and see where your goals are. And you're also not afraid of your own, you know, shortcomings, because that is what makes part of you. Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies, for your time. And thank you for watching. You've heard them say, stop gossip this particular year and start focusing on yourself. Start the journey to rebuilding who you are and being a better person, a cleaner,